welcome everyone. Today we have an interesting matchup between Noumbo Vidal from Cameroon with the white pieces playing against Dr. Lanre with the black pieces. A very formidable match this is, and it's the 10th round of the FIDE World Amateur Rapid and Blitz Championship, which happened in Abuja, Nigeria. And the arbiter announces some of the regulations for this event, and you can see players taking their seats. You can see a shake of hands there, and now the black starts the clock. We have pawn to d4 on the board, and now we have pawn to e6, now pawn to c4, and now pawn to f5. Whoa, the Dutch defense, the Rubinstein system with knight to f6, and now bishop to b5, and now we have short castles by black, and now pawn to e3. Now the move pawn to c6 comes in, and now the knight jumps out to e2. We have pawn to b6, and now short castle. And now what is black going for? He plays the move bishop to a6. This is actually the speed at which both players are actually playing is very, very fast. And now queen to b, the best movement position. Now if the bishop captures, the knight is quickly going to recapture back. So he decides to first develop his queen, and now pawn to a3 captures, and now captures back with the queen. And now let's take a stock of what's happening in the position. You can see how both players are actually rushing out their moves to show you how prepared they are. Pawn to d5 on the board, and now we have the move pawn to b3, another fine move. You not actually capture because the bishop is actually putting a pin on this pawn. So now he develops his knight to e7, and now instantly pawn to a4, very solid move in this position. And now we have the move knight to e4, attacking the queen, and now the queen steps back on this position. So now we have the move knight jumping. Now the second knight accompanies the other knight, and now knight to f4, and now pawn to g5, and now the move knight to d3, although a very fine move would have been actually bishop to a3, attacking the queen, and in this position here. So now you can see both players are still chilling. They've made 16 moves in less than 1 minute, and now rook comes out to c8. A mistake. G4 was actually a better move in this position, following the speed of the Dutch defense. And now we have the move knight to e5. A better move in this position was actually pawn to a5 to undermine black's pawn structure. And now instantly pawn to c5, and now the move bishop to a3. White finally develops the last minor piece in his position, and now it pins the pawn to the queen there. Now let's see what black goes for. He decides to bring the queen now to c7, but there's still this here. So a very good move is actually play the move pawn push here. But let's see what he decides to go for. He plays the move queen to d3. That's a very stronger move here. Was actually pawn to f3, attacking the knight for the knight, because the knight doesn't have any forward squares to jump back to. It either has to jump back here or go back to, I think that's the only square possible for it. And now black brings his rook now to the d file, mounting pressure along this pattern. So let's see, along this queen here. So a very good move now is actually pawn to f3. Pawn to f3 in this position, chasing the knight away. But let's see if he's going to play the move now. And also, he does play the move pawn to f3, a very fine move there. And also now with the rook moving out, the bishop does no longer have any spin on the rook before, like in the former position. So let's see, he reaches out. Dr. Lanre reaches out for there's several moves here in this position. You see there's actually here capturing here, there's actually pawn takes here. There are different moves in this position, and Dr. Lanre has actually fallen down to 1 minute 16 seconds. Dr. Lanre is the one playing with the black pieces, and you can see here many times, this is something, a very vital lesson. You can see that this piece is actually being attacked, but you see here that he actually ignores it first and goes for a counter attack instead. And now we have the move pawn captures, defending this. First of all, defending this, it shows you how strong players actually reason. You see they're able to look beyond their immediate threats. And now, although his knight was hanging, he was able to still capture this because now he was also making his own threat simultaneously. And now he decides to step back. The very solid move in this position now is to play the move queen to e3, mounting pressure here. So but now he makes a move AC1, and instantly pawn captures, and now the pawn recaptures. And let's see now. A very good move is to actually capture back with the knight, but let's see if he's actually going to play that move. Dr. Lanre now is down to 37 seconds, and although Vidal is still chilling on 2 minutes, let's see if Vidal can actually use the time trouble here as a very serious advantage against Dr. Lanre. So now a very fine move. There's so many good moves in this position, so many good moves. But let's see the one that Vidal decides to go for. A very good move here is actually to play pawn to f4, and he decides to capture, and now the bishop captures instantly, and now instantly he plays the move queen to d2, attacking this, although the engines actually like the move queen to e3 here. But let's see. Now queen comes now to g7, defending this, and instantly you can see here rook comes out immediately, removing from the line of attack. And now instantly we have the bishop coming back, and now pawn to a5, undermining the position. Now pawn to h6, captures, and now Dr. Lanre is playing on less than 30 seconds. A very solid move now is to actually exchange the rooks here, but he decides to actually play this, and that's actually a mistake, because now a very good move now is to put the queen now on e7, you know, attacking the queen and also this knight here, and he finds the move. What a guy. This is actually a very strong move, and this is one of the reasons why he's Cameroon #1, ignoring the fact that his pawn here is actually hanging and going for a much stronger attack in the position. And now queen cannot capture, because if the bishop captures, he attacks the rook and the knight as well. So he decides to actually play knight to h7. That's a very good move. Now a very good move in this position is actually to capture, queen captures b7, and this is so that if the bishop captures, now the rook captures this pawn, attacking this and attacking this as well. But let's see now. He's down to 1 minute, and Dr. Lanre has 10 seconds, and now he plays the move bishop to b4. That's a blunder. That's a blunder in this position, because now rook comes in, and now rook captures, now queen captures. That was a very big miss there for white in that position. And now, because this bishop is a very strong fortress, and now the queen comes back to d6, and instantly we have the queen returning to b7, and now rook comes in now to c1, taking control of the open file, and now pawn captures. This is a massive blunder, and now Vidal finds the best move, rook to c7, attacking the queen and also taking control of the 7th rank. But now you can see Dr. Lanre comes in now, bringing the queen to e4, and now he comes here. This is a blunder. He should have gone for the best move here, going for a mate here, because there was nothing in this position for him, and he misses it. And now he goes for the exchange instead, captures, pawn captures, now bishop takes, and now king takes instantly. Now a very good move is actually to push the pawn to g4. Will he find it now in less than 10 seconds? He plays it now in less than now a very good move now to actually play the move pawn to h4, or to actually bring the bishop here, stopping the knight from jumping here. But he decides to go for the other pawn, the b pawn, and the b pawn has no future. And now the knight jumps in, and now he captures, and now the rook king comes in, defending this other pawn, so that now let's see what he does. He gives the check, and now the king jumps in now to g6, and now the bishop jumps in now to e7. Now rook in, ignores the threat there, now comes in trying to give a check, and now down on time, but he's still playing, finding the best move. Now king comes down, and now knight jumps in, ignoring the threat, and now rook check. The king in, the rook check doesn't really have much there, because the king is quite safe. But let's see now, what can Vidal do here? Now the rook comes in, attacking, and now king in, knight check, takes the pawn, rook in, check again, and now the king moves again. And now rook comes in now, attacking the g2 pawn, captures. Both pawns are traded now, but you realize here something very powerful is that the black pawns are very strong now. They are stronger than the white pawns. But let's see now. Let's see what Vidal does. He's down to 30 seconds, 21 seconds, and now pawn push. Rook comes in, and now pawn push again now to g2. Now all he has to do is just maybe come rook here or something like that, or just give a check, or rook here now. But now pawn push, a very strong move now is Oh, he plays his bishop, the knight back to g5. What an excellent move. Stopping this now, but let's see. Will he actually find a very good move in this position? He decides to capture. Pawn captures immediately, closing down the file. And now pawn push. And now rook in. King attacks the rook and he captures the pawn and he flags. And he resigns as well. What a wonderful game that is. Can you like and subscribe? That you can see the smile on both players' faces, knowing that they actually played really, really well. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video. Bye for now.